Street Pro, bottom line. Flow, canteen, hot take, J&O. Sports professor, you know.
Street professor back again, it's game time. A la playa, no playtime, it's play guy. Cause we ain't talking about practice like AI. Sports professor spit the best takes out like AI. Artfully intelligent, I can't write mine. Rhyme citing your girl's DMs like Messi after the goal time. That was a triple entendre, did you catch me rambling? Flipping Simone Biles, we the bottom line champion.
I need my hands.
Let's go. Street Pro, bottom line. Flow, canteen, hot take, J&O. Sports professor, you know. Yo, Street Professor, I'm back, baby, like I never left. Bottom line, flow, canteen, hot take, J&O.
Go hard, or go home. 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 Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, or go home. Go hard, or go home. Yeah, these championship rings on my hands now. In my head I'm top 10, yeah, that's hands down. You a squad, now you're looking man down. Funny how foes turn to friends now. Drive a race car like a Atari now. Call filling up, I need product again. Treat the business like a playground, might slide on you. Don't even want my phone. Do a backflip, cause I'm mad rich. I'm the definition of what that is. Go hard, or go home. 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 Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, or go home. Go hard, or go home. I'm a warrior, I go back to back, then go back to back. If I top the top, then I double back, and I'm topping that. Yeah, I beat my own records. Yeah, I gotta get money fetish. Same team, I don't set trip. Never dull, this electric. Went and put the Ricks on my toes. Me and bro, that's the give and go. Stay 100, end zone. Keep them coming. I know. I won't flub my wrist, no, I'm not dumb like that. No. I just wanna give my mama 100 racks. Go hard, or go home. 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 Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, or go home. Go hard, or go home.
Yo!
Let's
What up,
go!
What up?
Yeah.
I like the glasses, bro. I like
What's
the glasses.
up with the
I like
glasses? You flashing me. It's the bottom line sports show. I'm Flo. Canteen.
The sports professor.
Sports professor right over there. Right in that corner. It's hard when you're doing it backwards.
I'm a warrior, I go back to back, then go back to back.
Yeah.
If I top the top, then I double back, and I'm topping that.
How about them Longhorns? From last week? Let's see what old Jake shows up for the show. Episode 162.
What's going on?
Online sports. Bringing it to you. Omar also has Ball and Buds. The Bottom Line Sports. Check us out on all your platforms. We partner with Let's Talk Sports. Oh, G-Pick is back. What up, G-Pick? You mean to come hard on old hot take Jake? Let's go. Go find us on all your platforms. X, YouTube, Facebook. Trying to get 2,000 on the Facebook group. We got 1,900 been stuck on 1,900.
At least 2,000 by the Super Bowl, man. We need
2,000 by the Super Bowl.
Come on.
Switch over. Canteen's favorite music. Canteen likes to chill in the evening. I think that's what it is. He likes to chill.
Mellow man.
Mellow man.
Yeah, man.
He said, "What you sipping on tonight, Kane?"
Just a little vodka and orange juice.
Yeah, I knew it was orange juice last time. My wife said it wasn't orange juice. I think who said it? Somebody said it wasn't orange juice. I think it was my wife. But
now I'm just chill. Hey, man. Hey. Let me say this, guys. I apologize for Sunday night, guys. I was tired.
H2O.
I was dog tired, man. I ain't want to leave you guys hanging, man. So my apologies for the Sunday night surge. I really wanted to be there with you guys. I was dog tired, man. I ain't want to leave you hanging like that, man. For real, Flo. You know me. I wanted to be there. I really wanted to cook. I wanted to cook my boy on Sunday.
You can cook him a little bit today. It'll be all right.
Yeah, if you come on here, because I was pulling for him. I was pulling for him in the Broncos, man. But hey, life goes on, man. Life goes on, fellas.
You was pulling for him.
But I'm glad to be here with y'all tonight.
Did you pull it for the Longhorns too?
Who?
You. That's his team too. You pull it for all his teams or what? You pull it for all his teams?
Listen, man. Yeah. Come on. Longhorn.
All right, let's go. Let's get into this.
Yes, sir.
Shows up. You ready for start us out? We always have Sports Professor start us out. You ready to go, Sports Professor? I'll intro you.
Oh, always ready to go.
The bag, baby.
Donkey's got wax.
Always
That's
ready.
Right. All right. Time for the Professor's Mixed Bag. All right.
It is yours truly, the Sports Professor. Thank you for that intro. Professor's Mixed Bag. Let's get started. First of all, next week will be Baseball Hall of Fame voting. Ichiro is aiming for the second only unanimous player of all time. We will make sure to update you with that next week. But that was just a little lead into the hottest free agent in baseball right now, Roki Sasaki from Japan, the flame-throwing 23-year-old youngster who has won their equivalent of the Cy Young the past 3 years in a row. So he was projected, or he talked to, 7 different teams, including my Mets, Hot Take Jake's Yankees, and others. And he has now narrowed it down to 3 teams: the Padres, the Dodgers, and the Blue Jays. So let me just break something out for y'all non-baseball fans. First things first, the Blue Jays stand no chance whatsoever. They didn't stand a chance when they had a chance to Shohei last year, and they had the Shohei flight watch on, and they thought he flew out there to go sign. Behold, he's trying to sign. The Blue Jays, forget it. I don't even know how y'all made the top 3 over the Mets. But the Dodgers and the Padres, in the Yankees didn't make the top. Dodgers and the Padres are the top positions to look at here, and you can pretty much assume that he's going to go to the Dodgers. The amount of Champions League sponsors we already have, but you cannot count out the Padres because they do have a really good roster that is in competition with the Dodgers. So if you wanted to go against your fellow countrymen, you would sign the Padres. So those are your top 2 choices. We'll keep you updated on that. Probably happen here in the next few weeks. Moving on. Fubo, the Fubo TV, which is a sports streaming platform, sued ESPN, Fox Sports, and TNT, who were trying to put together a streaming package called Venue, which would allow them to stream all of their networks from all of the ESPN, all the Fox, pretty much everything, into one package. Fubo sued, and they actually succeeded, and Venue has now broken up. So there is no more Venue. Instead, ESPN is offering their own package coming up, which is going to be streaming of every single channel they have, including all the network ones. And plus, DirecTV is going to offer a smaller my sports package that will include a bunch of the sports channels as well. Fubo will still be able to go on and so on and so forth and emerge in this streaming era of television that we've been seeing just on the forefront for so long. A couple more notes here, really quick. So I know we're going to talk about Deion Sanders today. Everybody is. Colorado has become the latest Power 4 university to cut ties with the official NIL collective. So why are athletic departments doing this? First of all, we talked about mixed bag about GMs coming into college for trying to right? We also talked about the fact that once this House NCAA settlement case goes and is finalized, they're expecting $20.5 million to be allocated to each school to give out to their players as free agency money, as NIL money, as payment, right? So what's happening is a lot of schools are cutting the NIL collectives because the schools are going to end up being the one paying the players in the end. So a lot of these collectives, maybe not the really powerful ones like Miami, they have one of the most powerful collectives. SMU, they have one of the most powerful. Maybe those won't go away because those donors will always want to be there anyways and have their hands in things. But a lot of these other colleges never really relied on donors or didn't have a big NIL collective. They're going to be done. So look for that into the future. And finally, one last note. If you watched the Eagles-Packers game, you saw A.J. Brown being a reader. Look, I'm a reader. I like reading books. I like reading articles online. And he was reading a book about inner excellence and how to best improve your life. And a lot of people made fun of him for this. But honestly, as a person who loves self-improvement, as a person who loves education, and all these things to help the mind grow, this is a book I would read. And it shot up to the number one on the Amazon list overnight, thanks to A.J. Brown, and the author now is and I actually bought the book myself, and I will give you an update on that.
Hey, Omar, let me ask you a question, man. I don't want to jump in front of you, man. So here's my whole take on that, man. Do you think he was wrong for reading a book during the middle of the game? I think he's a proficient receiver. I think he's great at his craft. I think he's done well. I think he succeeded through the duration of the season. But I think a lot of people frowned upon him reading a book. But I think he had a great game. I mean, what's your take on that?
Well, he didn't have much of a game at all.
Well,
Okay. So Flo, you think his numbers were bad?
They were great numbers. It wasn't necessarily his fault either. So let me take my glasses off for this and let me speak to all of the. I'm not going to call you any names. I'm not going to lower myself down to your level. I'm talking about another man who's just trying to improve himself.
Yeah, self-improve. Trying to self-improve.
Thank you. There's quarterbacks that eat hot dogs on the sideline. There's people that go take a piss in a bottle on the sideline. There's people that go run to the bathroom to take a number deuce in the bathroom in the back. There's people that go into the tent for fake injuries. I don't want to hear anything. If my man wants to pass it out the book to make himself a better person and get his mind back into a game where his quarterback is not getting him the ball, well, sorry, I'm just trying to help my team out by making myself better. And if you hate on that like Flo, well, you're just a hater, and we already know Flo's a hater. And you're
now Flo. Let me ask you a question. Now, Flo, I know you're a very devout Christian. Now, Flo, you pull your Bible out. You want to read the scripture,
right? Thank you.
Flo, you want to pray. You want to have a moment with Christ on the sideline.
What's wrong with that?
Let's talk about it, Flo. Let's talk about it, Flo.
What?
If I'm gonna pray, you want to read the Bible. Is that a problem?
Yeah, it's a problem. When you get ready for a game,
come on,
you're doing that in the locker room.
Come on, Flo.
Here's the problem. Read a book, okay, whatever. You want to read a book, you want to read the Bible. Here's the problem.
But you have a moment. You have a moment with God. You just say, "I want to pray. I want to meditate on the
You can pray without just bringing attention to yourself. That's what I think this is all about. He was trying to bring attention to himself. That's all it was about.
When the camera was on him to know that he was bringing attention to himself.
When have you ever, in how many years the NFL been around? have you seen anybody pull out a book?
I mean, I wasn't paying much attention, but I'm sure it's happened more than we know.
I don't think it's happened ever at all. It's never been caught on camera. I've never seen it on camera.
You think they're not actually? Some of them aren't actually reading some Kindle in the meantime, in between them, in the plays. Of course they
Kindle,
are.
everybody has the tablets. So if you want to put it on your tablet, he intentionally brought a physical book out there.
Hey,
because he wanted to bring attention to himself. He wanted to let everybody know that he wasn't happy the way things were going. That's what he did.
Well, wait a second now, because now you're contradicting yourself. You said he brought the book out. If he was to bring this book out, there would be no way that he knew he was going to have a bad game in order to bring that book out to read it. He brought the book out because he wanted to read it and have some reading material if there was some.
He brought his book in case things went wrong. Because the last time he said, they asked him about, what was the problem passing? What's the problem? What's the problem with the Eagles right now? He said passing. And he knows he was talking about Jalen. He just said passing. And then they asked him about it. He said, y'all just make a big deal out of nothing. And then he pulls out a book that no one's ever really pulled out a book on the sideline that we know of. And he said, why y'all trying to make a big deal out of it? He was trying to make sure everybody knew he wasn't happy with what's going on. You're not married, are you? Are you, Omar?
I'm not married, Flo, but I've had girlfriends. Okay. I know how it works.
Okay. So when you go around and your significant other is ignoring you, you know when they're upset. You don't have to ask them. They do certain things to let you know they're upset and they're trying to get your attention. And you ask them, "Hey, what's wrong?" And what they're gonna say? Nothing, right? But you know they're trying to get your attention, and so they know that you're upset. And this was his way of telling everybody out there, I'm not happy. Instead of going ranting and raving, he's going to pull out his book and show everybody, I'm not happy about what's going on right now. I want people to look at me and know that I'm not happy. And then when they ask me about it, I'm going to say, why y'all trying to make a big deal about it? That's what's going on here. That's my opinion. You can believe he's trying to better himself on the sideline. If you want to, you can go ahead.
First of all, it seems like the past few weeks you've brought up some different issues in relationships. And I'm wondering if Patty is starting to lay the smackdown on you and making you sleep on the couch.
Hey, let's not get personal, Omar. Hey, at least I've got the charisma to have a spouse. Somebody can't even get a serious relationship. So I don't know if you should be talking about relationships right now, Omar. All right. Are you done? Or you got something else?
I'm just saying, Phil, though. I mean, I get what you're saying. It obviously looked like there could have been a double meaning to this. There could have been some alternative sort of a statement he was trying to make. But my point is that he brought the book out at the beginning of the game. Whether that was going to be because he brought it as a hedge in case something bad was going on, or if he brought it for a downtime, maybe injury, something like that. Either way, it's not like he brought a stupid book. At least he brought a self-improvement book. At least he brought something to better himself. He could have brought Old Yeller or Huckleberry Finn, and how would that help anybody?
Right.
And
I think the title had a lot to do with it.
Knowing that he needed to get better at the game and be better in this game and help his team out more, let me read a little passage about how I may help my team.
Okay. All right. Agree to disagree. What do you think, Canteen? You didn't say what you thought.
Hey man, at the end of the day, man, I think, I'm not gonna knock anybody for trying to, self-improve, man.
During the game?
Hey Flo, as I said, man, I look at the relationship that me and you have, man, and I know that I've known you for 12, 13 years, man. And I know you used to bash me over the head with the Bible.
Okay. Now let's. Okay. I got you. But what if I pulled out some scripture right here in the middle of this show and say, "Hey, let me show you this scripture," because right now you're not doing what this says right here. I'm going to show you right now. That'd be calling you out. I mean, that would be just bringing attention to myself, just so I can. And now, if we were on some show that was talking about the Bible, it'd be different or doing something like that. Or if you're just commenting on some random show and I try to say something to you, that's different. But we're on this show. This is our show. And I just come out and I start reading a book. And you guys are talking about whatever's going on in the show. And I'm just reading a book over here about self-improvement in the middle of the show. What does that look like?
So I think you were trying to draw attention to yourself. Talking about the Bible. You be drawing attention to yourself, trying to point out my issues. Trying to talk about me. You be trying to dog me out about the Bible. Trying to call me out.
Okay, that's fair. But what if you guys were talking and we were going on and on?
Got a little lag in the Phil got his freeze on, acting like me. I get to laugh at you, sucker, Mr. Freeze.
No. So what I'm saying, Omar, I think that Flo will be trying to call me out using the Bible to propagate or trying to make me look bad in a situation like that. So
sure. So you can see it either way. So you can see it as either he was trying to make a sign like, "Hey, I'm upset," or "Hey, I'm trying to make a sign like we all need to get better," or "Hey, you need to get better, Jalen Hurts." Okay.
Right.
And I can definitely understand. I see where people are coming from. Obviously, I'm playing the other side just to have a little bit of good banter and dialogue right now. I can see that people think he was trying to make a statement, but at the same time, even if he was trying to make a statement, he made a statement with a book that was a self-improvement book to better himself in the middle of a bad game that he was having. I don't think there's a problem. Right. Nor do I think there's you want to pull any book out. You could pull out a damn math book, and I'd be okay with it. Maybe you're trying to figure out if 2 + 2 = 4, so you can figure out if your route is 90 degrees or not. Like, I don't care. If you can find time to read a little bit of a book on a sideline of a game, you're fine. Like, I mean, he was not supposed to be in the game. It'd be different if he was like, "Oh, I don't want to play," and quit.
Right.
Anyway, all right. Let's keep this moving. We'll see. I'm sure Flo will be back in just a moment. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you're subscribed or The Bottom Line Sports. You join our Facebook group. Again, The Bottom Line Sports. Make sure you join us there. You'll be able to see all the videos. You can also see us on Ball and Buds. You know where it is. Check us out there as well. Make sure you subscribe. We have our Combat Sports Special. Clubber D will go on about UFC 311. So, yes, we will have our Combat Sports UFC MMA Boxing Insider. He will be going on about UFC 311 and all the boxing news. So tune in to Ball and Buzz this Thursday at 8 p.m. Make sure you subscribe. Also, make sure you hit up the Final Say podcast and the Hot Take Jake and his crew. Make sure you check them out on YouTube as well for all the Bottom Line Sports family. Flo is back.
All right, Flo.
Flo, can you hear us? Flo will not hear us. I don't think. Okay, we're going to keep it moving. All right. Anyway, so let's go ahead and talk about some. You want to go straight into the coaching hires? You want to talk about the coaching, or you want to talk about the games? Dan?
Whatever you want to talk about. We're good, Omar. Whatever you want to hit the coaching.
We're going to start with reviewing the game then first, just because it's fresh on the mind of everybody. So since we had last night, we had the Rams versus the Vikings. Before the game, we talked about Sunday Surge. If you're there, make sure you tune in. On Sundays, we're only going for a couple more Sundays, but we do go for football. So if you did not get this, we did talk about this game beforehand. We previewed it. And so we had the Minnesota Vikings traveling to meet the LA Rams in Arizona. This is not a home game anymore due to the wildfires in LA. It actually moved to Glendale at the Arizona Cardinals Stadium. Oh, are you back? No, Canteen, hit those stats.
All right, man. So we had the Minnesota Vikings went against the LA Rams, and that was a tumultuous game. Omar, it was 9-27, but we had Sam Darnold end up going 25 for 40, threw for 245 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception. Aaron Jones went 13 carries, 45 yards. Hockenson went 5 receptions, 64 yards, 1 TD. Matthew Stafford went 19 for 27, 209 yards, 2 TDs. Williams went 19. He went 16 carries, 76 yards. Higbee 5 receptions, 58 yards. Here's the thing, man. We talked about this about a few weeks ago, guys. The Rams were the most dangerous team going into the playoffs. And here's the thing, Omar. with all the calamity, with all the issues, with all the things that happened in LA, this was the buffer that catapulted these guys going into the playoffs, man. I think they're dangerous, man. I think that they're dangerous. I think they made a statement. I think it says a lot about them as they move forward, as they keep moving. They're dangerous. They look good, man. They're gonna make some.
Oh, yeah, no, I was sorry about that. I didn't mean to step on you there. I thought you were done. We talked about how they came back from attrition during the year. They started off had a lot of injuries, had a bit of a losing streak to start off, ended up with a losing record in the first 8 games. Then they started to bounce back, right? Similar to Cincinnati, except they were able to win enough games to make it into the playoffs, hit those 10 wins. And so, yes, we talked about how they could be, a dangerous team to upset other teams, especially because they're fully healthy now. But we also talked about, and I know this was on Sunday, and don't worry, brother, we all have to take our personal time. You are good to go. But we all talked about how because it was going to Arizona, that Minnesota was most likely to win the game. And we all picked Minnesota, and we also thought Minnesota
I picked LA.
Oh, okay, my bad. And it was me and Hot Tank Jake. My bad. So I did pick LA. But what I want to say here is that all year long, I talked about Sam Darnold turning back into a pumpkin. All year long.
Both did.
And Flo said the same thing, man.
Yeah. And he did. He went full pumpkin mode. The past 2 games, he did. He proved what me and Flo had predicted, correct? He proved that, and it was a horrible 2-game stretch, not only for him, but for the Vikings, who only scored 1 touchdown in the last 2 games. It's hard. He got sacked 9 times. 9 times he got sacked. He held on to the ball way too long. And the problem is that, and I said this before, he was good because he was in a system that made him good. The Kevin O'Connell system made him into the better quarterback that he proved to be this season. But when you're getting rushed and pressured so much like the Los Angeles Rams did, it knocks you off your timing. And as a quarterback, especially like Darnold, you need that timing because you need to be able to make it through your progressions as you scan the field. And he ain't have enough time to wipe his butt in the backfield. So a horrible game for him, full pumpkin mode. Vikings screwed this up royally, and I think it's a wasted season for the Vikings starting 14-2. Also, maybe the NFL needs to be conference seeding after the playoff starts because, do division winners necessarily, should they get a bye just because, or not a bye, should they get a top 4 just because they won the division? I don't know. It's a topic of conversation.
Yeah, I said from the beginning, well, before the game, I said that all they got to do is do what Detroit did, make them feel uncomfortable back there, and he's going to do the same thing. And that's why I felt the Rams could do the same, basically the same game plan and say, hey, okay, beat us, but you're going to have to beat us, running or moving around. You're going to have to beat us quickly, make quick decisions. And that's how they beat him, exactly the way that the Detroit Lions did.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're completely right. They really disrupted their game. I think you froze there for a second, Flo. You can continue.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that. I mean, that's what I had said. How the Rams were going to win this game was disrupting him, getting to him early, making him feel uncomfortable, and that's how they were going to win this game. And that's kind of why I picked the Rams because I felt they had enough personnel on defense to do that.
Yeah, no, that was a great pick by you. You've been hyping up their defense and them all year long. You've been hyping up the Rams for the past couple years.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, where
and so Cam said that they are, to him, I don't agree with the statement. I think they are a dangerous team. He said he thinks they're the most dangerous team right now in the playoffs with the underdog status and being fully healthy and all that.
I think the Rams can make a statement. I think the Rams can make a statement in the playoffs, man.
I agree with Ken, and especially in this aspect. shout out to all those out there who are going through these fires in LA and in that area. And you saw how they rallied around. They all had the LA FD shirts. There was a lot of fans that showed up from LA, even though they were in Arizona. So I think this can be a kind of a rallying call, kind of like the Saints did with Katrina, or I don't remember when that was. It was a hurricane or something happened. And I think this can be one of those things that can motivate the team and bring them together. Kind of a bigger cause. Hey, this is for our city. This is for all those that are suffering. And so I think this can be one of those things that can propel them a little further than they may have gone, even as we think they were a possible dark horse team. Yeah, so I think this could get them to the NFC Championship just by the fact that they have this.
But let me ask you this, Flo.
Extra motivation.
But Flo, do you think they had the propensity to make it to the NFC Championship?
I think they had a shot, but I think this propels them a little further. I think this gives them a little more motivation to try and make that happen. How cities rally around a team or a sports team in these kind of cases, and they're going through all this right now, and I just feel like this is going to be one of those things where this could propel them further than they may have gone before. Maybe they make they have a good next game, but now this might propel them to win the next game and get to the NFC Championship. Having that extra motivation, that extra sense of like a mission. We have a mission. We want to do something bigger than us. We want to do this for the city, for California, who's going through all these fires and stuff. Yeah. What else are we talking about?
All right, what's next on the docket? AFC? We talk AFC?
Did we talk all the NFC already?
We already hit it. Well, we got to hit the Eagles. I think the Eagles and the we got to hit the Eagles and the Commanders and Eagles.
Commanders and the Eagles? Oh yeah. Well, did y'all talk about the Bucks and the Commanders game? Sunday Night Football?
Yeah, nobody care about that game. I mean, the Bucks and the Commanders game. Fish food, man.
I mean, that was a close game. I mean, it could have gone either way. I think the biggest thing with that game was the fact that
field goal.
Baker had that fumble on their side.
Field goal.
I mean, but Baker had that fumble on their side of the field. After they had already stopped them on a 4th down to get the ball back, they give the ball right back to the Commanders. And to me, that was the difference in the game. Your thoughts, Omar? I thought that fumble was the biggest turnaround in that game because you had just stopped the Commanders on 4 downs to get the ball back. And then you give them another 4 downs. It took them another 4 downs to get that touchdown. And that's the difference in the game to me is that they gave that ball a short field back to the Commanders after they just failed on 4 downs.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because it reminds me of something that I meant to say. And does my mic sound okay? I did walk up.
Yeah, it sounds
good, bro.
Yeah, I had to fix it.
Good.
Okay. All right, cool. Anyways, so I'm glad you bring that up because what I wanted to say during the Vikings portion and the Rams portion that I forgot to talk about was this wasn't just on Sam Darnold, though. It was also on Kevin O'Connell for bad play calling. Because if you remember, the reason the Vikings' whole game was destroyed was Jared Verse, who you've been hyping up, Flo, the rookie there. He picked up a fumble with 4:35 left and took it in for the touchdown to go up 17-3. And then Kevin O'Connell and the Vikings were at around midfield and decided to go for it on 4th and 2, missed it. The Rams drove down the field, scored before halftime, and went up 24-3, where if they would have just punted the ball and gone into halftime down 14, they may have actually had a chance in the second half to win the game. Reminds me of something similar here, right? This was a little later in the game, obviously. This was the second to last drive where Baker Mayfield made the fumble, but I mentioned this on my show yesterday as well. No, mentioned on Sunday Surge. Bucky Irving made a mistake like that 2 weeks ago that almost costed the Tampa Bay Bucks from getting into the playoffs at all. And now this cost the playoffs.
this was such a nip and tuck game that one mistake like that could cost you. And to be fair, the Bucs are probably one of the best teams in the red zone, stopping teams from scoring touchdowns. But if you give a team 8 tries, the chances are you're going to get one. So they basically gave them 8 tries because they held them to another 4th down. Remember in that game, and they got on the very last shot. And so I just feel like you give a team 8 tries to get in the 20 inside the 20, and they're going to get one eventually. All right, I'm a little lost. Where are we at right now, Omar?
Oh, my bad. We were talking about the Commanders, Buccaneers. I got a little away from that. I'm sorry for my tangent, but I thought it made sense there, and it did. But yeah, congrats to the Commanders. I'm here in the DMV still, and man, they went crazy this weekend. Now, it was a little lucky. We know they got the doink off the field goal.
Yeah. Sorry, I think the announcers call them the cardiac commanders.
Yeah, the cardiac commanders. Yeah.
Come on. And this is what I told my chaplain. He's a Commanders fan, so I give him a hard time. But he was all hyped up. I go, hey, listen, you've gotten a lot of lucky bounces this year. All those games could have gone the other way. That those 1-score games could have gone the other way. That Hail Mary pass could have not been, caught by your team.
Right.
There's a lot of one. I told him, remember the Cowboys game? That one came down to the last few plays, and it didn't bounce your way that day. So you could have had a lot more not bounce your way. So they've been fortunate, and sometimes that's what you need to make the playoffs, to make a little bit of a run, is for the ball to kind of bounce your way. And things kind of go your way, but I don't think they're good enough in the next round to overcome what Detroit has on offense. This may be a little bit of a shootout because I think both defenses are not as good. Detroit, they showed a little something against the Vikings, but they're still a little shorthanded. I think they got a couple guys back, and the Commanders don't have a great defense either. So this might be a little bit of a shootout, but I think Detroit's going to have too much for them in the next round.
Yeah, I know we're going to talk about it here in a little bit, but I believe that, and I said this on Sunday as well, on Sunday Surge, but the Commanders are a year early. They're like the Orioles in the DMV. They're a year early. They're playing with house money at this point. So
that's one of the things for sure. They got nothing to lose.
That's the other thing. That's what makes a team dangerous as well. And a team like Detroit that's been dealing with a lot of injuries all year could be susceptible to a underdog scrappy team like the Commanders. Scrappy.
Flows are scrappy.
I thought he had the echo, but
I don't have it. I'm on my iPad. I lost signal on my laptop.
Scrappy.
There you go. You gotta do the echo now.
All right, cool. What's next? You want to go ahead and predict the games coming up this weekend?
Did y'all hit Sunday Night Monday Night Football? Yep. Yeah, we can hit the games, or we can hit the games coming up.
And then we got to talk college too, right? We're not going to be back before
You want to hit college first and then come back to it?
Yeah, let's hit college first. Give it a little switch up in the show.
Okay.
And we'll come back.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what about the last 2 games? Penn State. I think who picked Notre Dame? Was it Ken?
Ohio and Notre Dame. I picked.
Okay, yeah, I think I picked Penn State and Ohio State. So it was a great game, the Notre Dame and Penn State. I thought they were going to finally pull it off. And it feels like Franklin still has that monkey on his back, losing once again considered a big game. This was really a big game, and he still's got that kind of monkey on his back that he can't win the big ones kind of teams. What are your thoughts on Notre Dame, Penn State, and what happened there?
Man, so here's the thing about Notre Dame, man. I think Notre Dame. But Notre Dame over Georgia?
No, this one. It just happened.
We're talking about Notre Dame over Penn State.
Yeah, how Franklin can win the big one. Is he still got that? Is it still on his back? The monkey on his back, so to speak.
Man, the Notre Dame over Penn State, man. Whew.
It was a close game.
Here's the thing, man. James Franklin got a lot on his shoulders, man. And the thing about it, it's 2 brothers, man. and a lot of people was like wringing it over his neck. And the thing about that game is, I don't even think the Notre Dame guy gonna even be able to beat Ohio State in that game.
I mean, it kind of felt like Penn State was going to run away with it a little bit until that fourth quarter.
Yeah,
I felt like Penn State was going to start pulling away until that fourth quarter.
Right, Flo.
It kind of all fell apart. I mean, you have that that one, I think was it the quarterback for Penn State trying to throw it in the ground, and the guy picks it off, or it was just one. It just kind of like fell apart. It just kind of went downhill in that fourth quarter. And what are your thoughts, Omar, on what happened here? Is this a Franklin issue? Is it just I know he's still got the monkey on his back, but was this more his fault or just kind of the way the ball bounced?
Coaching, man, coaching.
Look, I have lamented time after time after time that James Franklin is not a big game coach. He is not able to succeed in these type of environments. He does not make correct play calls. He does not have his team properly motivated or trained or practiced or many different things. Now, I'm not going to take anything away from the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. 1, they lost one game holding it away all season long, and that was an upset. They've always been perennially a good team. Now they have a great coach in Marcus Freeman, who has proved that Brian Kelly was wrong, that you can get to a college championship at Notre Dame. And they'll be looking to bring their 12th title, which is amazing, thinking about it, and their first since 1988 back to Notre Dame. But yeah, you got Drew Aller throwing the ball to the ground. It's intercepted by Christian Gray, who just dives and catches the ball off the ground. You've got a late comeback. You've got the field goal at the end to win the game. So, yes, some people may say, oh, well, that was close enough that you can't really blame that on James Franklin. Fine. If you want to give him that cop-out because the game was close enough, fine. By all means, do whatever you really want to do. But I've seen this happen now for 24 games against top 10 opponents. And you know what his record is in those 24 games. He is 4-20. 4-20 against top 10 opponents. Got over Boise State, SMU because he had an easy road in the playoffs to be able to go against teams that they were favored against. And he could not and would not get it done when the time mattered. And he still can't get it done. And in my eyes, and in many of the eyes of Penn State, I talked to my Penn State source today, many people are very, very upset and very caught up in the fact that he cannot win a big game and they don't know if he ever will.
So even after taking him to the final 4 teams, you think he's out? He may be out next year?
I mean, they wanted to fire Ryan Day because he lost to Michigan. So, I mean, what are we talking about? The NFL, college sports, Major League Baseball, hockey, they're all so fickle. They get rid of coaches. Even
They
if
fickle, Omar, fickle.
We'll talk about that later with the Cowboys and McCarthy. We'll talk about that. But it happens all the time, especially in hockey. Coaches will win the Stanley Cup and get fired the next season because they started off 0-10. Like,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There's that immediate gratification that people want, right? That instant gratification that people want. And in sports, it's not possible, especially in the NFL, when you have to build a winner from the ground up using mostly the draft and then supplementing with free agency, not just going in there and changing coaches and GMs every 2 years and trying to sign the best free agents and throwing darts at the wall like the Raiders do. Shots fired at my own team.
And here's the thing, Omar, you start from scratch. You build from nothing, and they expect you to build from nothing and to win. How?
Only 2 years. How can I do that? You give Gerard Mayo 1 year, what's he supposed to do? Right? You give Antonio
Omar, you throw him to the wolves.
Like, if you're gonna do that, give them a little longer leashway.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
And you talk about interim coaches all the time, and that could be eliminated if we just hired a new coach instead of the interim coach.
Right.
Make it make sense.
So you got anything else on this game?
No, you're good.
Okay. So the other game on the docket was Ohio State, Texas. Laugh track. Texas
Damn,
this
Jake,
game.
you showed up when the Broncos lost, but you ain't show up for the Texas Longhorns conversation.
Oh man, I was so happy. It was funny. And remember, I said Jake convinced me talking about to go for Ohio State. So at the last minute, I switched it up and said Ohio State's going to win this game. Of course, I thought Penn State was going to be Penn State, Ohio State, but still, Ohio State. It was a fairly close game for most of the game, Ken. I think it was 14-7, and then Texas scored in the third quarter, so it was a tied-up game until the fourth quarter, and then almost something similar kind of went downhill in the fourth quarter for the Longhorns. And then, of course, it was Jack Sawyer had that one pick six, or was it a scoop and score? I can't remember, but it was a scoop and score at the end of kind of putting the nail in the coffin a little bit. Your thoughts on this, Canteen, and then Omar?
So the Ohio State game was 28-14.
Yeah.
Howard ended up 24 for 33, 289 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception. Henderson, 6 carries, 42 yards. Tate, 7 receptions, 87 yards. Ewers, 23 for 39, 283 yards, 2 TDs, 1 interception. Wisner, 17 carries, 46 yards. Blue, 5 receptions, 59 yards, 2 TDs. Here's the thing, man. Ohio State, the truth.
I mean, Jake said this was a national championship. Whoever won this game was basically going to win it.
Man, Texas ain't did a damn thing. They did a damn thing.
I know he was. If he was
and
here,
you know what?
he
He
put
hit
this
tonight.
all on Quinn Ewers because he didn't
And you
want
know
him.
what? I'm gonna spare
really
Jake
want him
tonight
at all.
because I'm gonna spare Jake tonight because I wasn't here the other night. I'm gonna spare him because I was asleep the other night. Jay, you got grace tonight.
Uh-oh, get him.
Hey, he better show up Sunday night. Jake, show up Sunday night. Show up Sunday night.
That's all you got to say?
I'm gonna give him grace, man, because I was asleep Sunday night. I gotta give the man grace, man. I was tired.
Well, I know Omar's not going to give him too much grace.
Jake, Omar, what you gonna give tonight? Omar, give him some grace,
Give
Omar.
it to him, the Texas Longhorns. And I know Jake would be blaming it on Quinn Ewers.
Omar.
Put Arch in there.
Omar.
Give me some.
You know me too well, Canteen. You know me too well. No.
Omar.
And Flo knows. Flo said it. He knows I ain't gonna let him escape like that. You ain't getting off light just because you ain't show up to the show. You're gonna get this work right now, boy. You're gonna get
world.
This right now. Don't think that just because you ain't show up to the show that I wasn't gonna talk about the Texas Longhorns. I know you listening at home, at work, wherever, and I want you to hear these words.
Frito-Lay plant.
Potato chip, man. Potato chip.
I want you to hear 2 sentences from me. Thank you for the reminder. First of all, send me my damn baconettes I've been asking for. And double that, take your bum-ass Longhorns and meet your bum-ass ponies down in Cancun, baby, because that's all that's happening. Y'all messed it up, done blew up the game in the fourth quarter like Flo said. You were in it all game and just managed to screw it all up at the end because that's what the Texas Longhorns have done the past 20 years since Vince Young won their last title in 2005. Ah, man, I wish he was here.
Oh, man, I wish he was here, too.
I'm not going to say nothing else because I'm gonna save the rest of my energy for the next time I see you, but just know that I will never, ever give you leeway. Ever.
Yeah, I mean, this is fun. So it's going to be Ohio State, Notre Dame. Your quick thoughts on who you favoring in this game? Who you think is going to win this? Is this game this weekend?
On Monday.
Next Monday, though, so
Monday at 7:30.
Monday, yeah, we'll call it. We'll call it right now. Who do you like in this game? Coming up, Ohio State, yeah, Notre Dame.
Ohio State by 30.
30? Quit jinxing them.
30, man.
Quit jinxing them.
Oh, you're like 30. Jeez,
wow. Omar, are you as confident as Canteen?
Ohio State is favored to win this game. According to the Athletics projections, they have a 69% chance to win this game versus 31% chance for Notre Dame. You know where I'm going to go because I picked Ohio State before the season even began to win the championship. So this would be my second year in a row of calling the national championship before the season began. So I'm sticking with OSU, so I can be right 2 years in a row. And they're a 9.5 point favorite. The 45.5 implied point spread. I'm not going to say 30. I don't believe it's going to be that.
10. I'm going to give them 10. I'm going to be 10. I'm going to go 10.
I mean, Quishon Johnson at running back is just a beast. I just can't see Ohio State's the better team all around. And I believe that also Ryan Day being the more experienced coach than Marcus Freeman puts them over the top. I'm going to take Ohio State. I agree. I'm going to say not 10, but 14. I'm going to go 31-17 Ohio State.
Woo, okay. All right. Well, I'm going to give Marcus Freeman a little more credit. I'm going to say he's going to coach these guys up. And I think they're going to still lose, but I think they're going to make it. It's going to be a little closer than that. And I think he's going to coach these guys up. I like the way he's got them playing inspired football. I think they got a pretty solid defense. I think if they can keep it close into the fourth quarter, I don't think they're going to mess up like Texas did. I think they're going to be able to make it a game. I think it'll come down probably to the last few minutes of the fourth quarter. It'll come down. I'm going to say a 7-point game that Ohio State scores it late, and they're able to hold Notre Dame from scoring a touchdown at the end of the game, and they win it by 7. But I think it's going to be a good game.
Right. Yeah, I just kind of see it being more like what Ohio State did in Texas. To be honest, I don't get much of a. And again, I like Notre Dame. They're a good team. I just don't think they're as strong as Ohio State.
I agree. I just think that for this one game, they're going to play above their heads and they're going to make it close. Yeah. All right, so let's get to the divisional round. Get them in the order they're coming in. Saturday, we got the Texans at Kansas City and the Commanders at the Detroit Lions. Both of these games at first glance look like they're going to be quote-unquote easy wins for the number 1 seeds or fairly easy wins for the number 1 seeds. Canteen, both of them won. Kansas City's 8.5 favorite and Detroit's 9.5 favorite. I tend to think the Commanders game will be a little closer. I think they're playing better right now. They're playing a little more inspired football, but I still think they're going to lose that game. But give us your thoughts on Houston KC, Canteen.
I like
You said Texans earlier.
Man, you talk too much, man. Stop putting my business.
You said you were online talking about it.
Man, every time you get on social media, put my business out, man. Be quiet.
Man, you're on social media. Where do you want me to put it?
Let everything, man. Look,
it's out there on the internet.
Look, you say you're a pastor. Let everything that have breath praise the Lord.
Hey, let everything in the darkness come to light. Let everything in the darkness come to light.
Let everything that have breath praise the Lord. Pastor, let everything that have breath praise the Lord.
Lord.
Hey, look, man. Look, I told you, man. And you got a green screen up there. I told you.
Lord.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you what. I'm finna change everything I said tonight. That man talking about the Bible up there tonight. He said, I tell you what, man. Hey, I tell y'all what tonight, man. I love God and I love Jesus Christ. I'm going with the Houston Texans on everybody.
Oh,
I'm going with the Texans. Hey,
I made you do it.
Hey, that man got a green screen right here. The Bible said, "Let everything that have breath praise the Lord." And Florida, boy, the way you playing up on this screen. And you got a white cap on with a green screen on. I'm the Psalm 156. Let everything
I'm
I
going
told
in
you
the
stop
green
playing. I
pasture.
told you stop. Look,
In the
I
green
told you
pasture.
stop getting on this social media playing.
Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
You want to be a preacher tonight, though? And then the Texans win.
And I will find pasture.
Omar, you heard it. Omar, you heard it from my mouth.
I will find pastures, green pastures to walk on.
I'm going with the Texans by 10. I'm going with Texans by 10.
Texans by 10.
I'm going with Texans by 10.
What do you got, Omar?
Praise the Lord. I don't know what that was. Praise the Lord. I don't know what that was that y'all just did, but praise the Lord. That's all I know. All right, let's keep it moving. Wow, that was wild. All right, so divisional games this weekend. Obviously, we just talked about how the Commanders are a scary team because they're playing with house money. They're playing with nothing to lose, and they're going up against a Detroit Lions team that wholeheartedly lost important players during the regular season to injury. Later in the season, their games that much harder. Not that they necessarily lost the games, but it still made those games much closer. Detroit, I mean, we know Detroit, we've been talking about, has been one of the toughest teams all season long. And if it wasn't for the injuries, we'd still probably be calling them the favorite in the NFC. But because they faced so many injuries, people started to downgrade them. The line was at 8.5 to open up.
We're going Texans KC first, though.
Oh shoot, my bad. So why didn't you stop me before when you heard me talking about the Lions?
Because I was like, I thought you were making a point about the other game. I thought you were all going to bring it all together.
I'm going to bring it all together later. You just hold that in your head for when we get to the game. All right, Houston Texans, Kansas City Chiefs.
I think Canteen got you all confused with all of
it.
He
did. He got me.
Don't come up to my that Bible tonight. Don't come up to my Jesus Christ.
I'm not sure what happened.
He even said right before you went, he said Texans by 10, and then you start going off on the other game.
Anyway, all right. Chiefs are 8-point favorites for 41.5-point spread, and the Chiefs. The big thing for them is that they've been off since Christmas. So, Pat Mahomes hasn't thrown a pass in almost 3 weeks. The team hasn't been on the field in almost 3 weeks. And so, could they be rusty? Yes, but we also know that Andy Reid is the best coach in history when it comes to bye weeks. I know he was I think he's still undefeated after bye weeks in the regular season, but someone can correct me.
Could be right. You might be right.
Yeah, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that Andy Reid is undefeated after bye weeks during the regular season. Anyways, so they just face off in week 16. The Kansas City Chiefs won 27-19. You got to take that with a grain of salt since, again, Patrick Mahomes had an ankle injury at that point in time. Plus,
they didn't have Pacheco.
Yeah, plus they didn't have Pacheco. Plus the Texans were a little bit on the downside. Now they've bounced back.
They also didn't have Hollywood. Hollywood Brown was not there either.
Right. That's a good point. You're right. But again, Patrick Mahomes is 6-0 in the divisional round. Most wins without a loss in playoff history. I can't take the Texans as much as I think the Texans are going to be a good team. A squad. They did regress this season, honestly, and I just did not pick them over. As much as I hate the Chiefs, I do hate the Chiefs. Very much so. I hate having to pick them, but I'm also a realist and I also know football. And so I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs in a 28 to 17. 28 to 17, 11-point win for Kansas City.
So they cover. Yeah, I like KC too. I think the layoff, it will be maybe a little rusty coming into this game. So you may see a little rust early on. Maybe they run the ball a little bit to try and knock off some of that rust. Maybe they some easy passes. Plus the Texans just played a tough game. That game was, pretty close going into the second half, and the Chargers just kind of fell apart. I just don't see KC falling apart. I think Houston will keep it close into the second half, and I think that in the end, the Chiefs kind of pull away. I wasn't going to say they cover, but now I'm going to say they probably cover. I'm going to go. It's not a high-scoring game because the Chiefs haven't scored 30 points all year. I think because of the rust, they keep that trend going. I think they're going to end up somewhere in the neighborhood of, I'm going to say 27 to 17. And they pull away, get a late touchdown to, seal the deal. It'll probably be 20 to 17, and then late in the game they'll get a touchdown, seal the deal, and they win this game by 10 and do a backdoor cover. All right, Sunday we got 1 p.m. game is the Red Hot Rams at the Eagles, and then we have the Baltimore Ravens. Probably the best game of the weekend. Buffalo playing the Bills. 2 MVP candidates. What's that?
Did you skip the Commanders and Lions now? Right after you.
Oh yeah, Commanders and Lions. My bad. Yeah, I'm confused now. Commanders and Lions canteen. Because you talked about it. I thought we talked about it.
I know. That canteen confused me, and I confused you.
Commanders at the Lions canteen. Let's get that one first, and then we'll talk about what we just said. Who do you like there, Ken, and why?
All right, fellas. Commanders and Lions, man. That's gonna be a good one, man. Woo. Commanders and Lions, man. That's gonna be a tight one across the board, man. Man, that's gonna be tight, guys.
What are you thinking? Come on.
Dog. I'm gonna go Commanders 24, Lions 21.
Oh wow! Taking the Commanders upset.
Tight on the board.
What was the score again?
24-21.
Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Tell me why. What's your main reason?
Man, it's gonna be tight on the board, bro. Tight.
Trying to pull it out of him, Omar. Trying to pull it out of him.
I don't know. It's gonna be tight on the board.
What's gonna make it tight on the board? What makes it tight on the board?
Just let it be. Let it be, Flo. Just let it be.
Let it be. Okay.
Let it be.
Omar, help us out. Let's get some little analysis in here.
Let it be. Let it be.
Let it be.
I need whoever was the one that was on here the other day commenting. I think it might have been Champ Ross, but I'm not sure.
Be.
That was commenting about we always had to ask him what he meant with his pick. I love it, Kenty. You crack me up so much. All right.
Let it be.
Commanders are 8.5.
Omar, you better trust. Omar, you got to start trusting me, man.
Trust you, brother. I trust you.
Omar, if you don't start trusting my judgment, man, you're going to fall by the wayside, man. I'm telling you, man.
Detroit Lions are 9.5-point favorites with a 55.5-point spread. This is going to, as mentioned earlier, probably be a pretty higher scoring game. If we look back into the regular season, it was two. The Lions and the Commanders faced off, and Detroit won 36-27. Now, this was obviously later in the season when Jaden Daniels started to get better.
What game was that, Omar?
That was week two.
Yeah, okay. I was wondering because I think Jaden got hurt early on. I don't know if that was one of the weeks right when he got hurt.
No, it was after that. It was after that. He was still healthy by then. But he was still a second game. We still had a lot.
Still a second game. That's fair.
And this will be only the 6th time in the Super Bowl era, that a rookie QB will face a team that had the best record in the league or a share of the best record in the league. 6th time in history for that to happen. That, to me, plus the fact that Detroit has been able to hold down running quarterbacks within their schedule. If you remember back in week 3, they held Kyler Murray to 45 rushing yards, Anthony Richardson to 61 yards in week 10. Caleb Williams, Josh Allen was the only one that was really able to rush all over them. So, yes, I think Jaden Daniels will be able to get a little bit of his running game off And because the defense plays aggressive man-to-man coverage on the outside, and so when they do that, their cornerbacks are obviously taken up with the wide receivers, and if you got safety help over the top, your quarterback is going to have more room to run, on the outside. But I still believe the ultimate defense of the Lions being better than the Commanders' defense, and the offense being better, if not. Some people could put the Commanders on the level. You probably think that the Lions' offense is still even a little better. So if they've got the better offense and the better defense, give me the Lions. Similar to the first week. I'm going to go 30. I said this score earlier, I think. But I'm going to go. I did with the Ohio State game. No, I said 34-7. Okay, 34-24. Detroit Lions.
34-24. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a good game. I think, like you said, Omar, you've always liked to talk about momentum. And the Commanders have won their last 6 games in a row. Detroit has had a hiccup in there with the Bills. And the fact that both of these teams scored close to 30, Detroit 33, number one team in the NFL, and then the Commanders 28.5, scoring 28.5 per game average. And so I think they have a lot of momentum going into this game. The last big game that Detroit had was against the Vikings, but they had a great game plan for them. They've seen them before. The last big game before that was the Bills, and they lost that game 42-48. And then they also allowed kind of a hapless 49ers team at that point. They allowed them to score 34 points on them. And that was late in the season as well. So despite how well they played against the Vikings, I feel like this is going to be a shootout. They're both going to score in the 30s. And I think for the Vikings, do not allow this game to continue to be into the fourth quarter a one-score game, because as we know, the Washington Commanders have won almost every one-score game they've been in, and they're on a 6-game winning streak at this point. And most of those games were one-score games. You give Jaden Daniels a chance at the end. He's shown that he can handle the pressure, and he can go in there and drive them down the field for a field goal or a touchdown if need be. So I think Lions need to pull away. This is going to be a nail-biter for them, I think. I think the Lions still end up pulling it out. It's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 38-35. The Lions squeak by, and they finally stop the Commanders late in the game and hold on to win this game and go to the NFC Championship. It's going to be an exciting, high-scoring game. All right. Let's go to the Rams and Philly. One o'clock game on my time. It's probably 2 o'clock. Most people. The Eagles are 6-point favorites at home, but the Rams are on a little bit of a hot streak. They looked really good last game against the Vikings. Let's see what they can do. Eagles looked a little rusty. Jalen Hurts looked a little rusty. Your thoughts?
No, I said this Sunday. I said the Rams were the hottest team popping.
You gonna take another underdog? I'm just saying.
I told you.
I'm just saying.
Every time you get on social media, you run your mouth. Every time you talk too much, all you do is run your mouth. Talk too much, man. I told you about running your mouth.
Okay.
I'm an underdog. I don't think they can beat the Eagles though. I don't think they can beat the Eagles though. I don't think they can beat the Eagles though.
You're underdog guy, but you're not gonna take them this time. Okay, give us your why you think the Eagles gonna win.
Eagles hot, man. Eagles hot.
No, you're not saying the same thing you just said about the last one. Give us some more insight, please.
Omar, I said Hurts hot, Saquon hot,
Okay.
You got a man that on the sideline, and you got a man on the sideline reading books. He educated, he's sophisticated, and he hot too. What you talking about?
You got a score,
Yeah.
Canteen?
Huh?
Yeah.
Hey, no more orange juice for you. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah, man. You
No,
need to get your energy.
all I'm saying
You need
is,
to get your energy. I don't know what the vodka did to you, but you got
Cut you off. No more orange juice.
that light to
Hey,
mess
you
you
gotta
up. You gotta
read
stick to
them.
that brown, brother.
that's y'all problem now. Y'all got preconceived
You got a
notions
score,
about
Ken?
people.
You got a score?
That's great.
I'm not finna argue with nobody.
You got a score? Stop sipping on that. I think you don't have orange juice and vodka. You have vodka with a splash of orange juice. Is what I think.
Right.
I told you about running your mouth, Flores.
What's your
Oh,
score?
are you giving us a score, Canteen, or what? Give us a score.
Told you about running your mouth
What's your score?
on Sunday.
Yeah, Rams
No,
and Eagles.
Friday, fool. Yes.
Can I say my score, Omar?
I'm trying to get it out of you, man. Come on. I'm trying to wait for you.
Divisional ran on Sunday, September 19th. Can I
Yes.
say my score? But
Yes, please.
I've been waiting on you. Go ahead.
You would like that. While you looking at your phone for your score? You just make it up.
34-20. 34-20.
He writes them all down.
Eagles. 34-20. Eagles. 34-20.
34-20.
34-20, man. 34-20. Write it down. Write it down.
Wow.
Write down 34-20. I want you to write it down.
Hey.
Write down 34-20.
That's a 14-point game, so you did good. Go.
Hey,
Right.
and you know what's funny, Canteen? Because I'm sure none of us remember this. I just read it today and I didn't remember. But back in week 12, the Eagles won 37-20. So a similar score to what Canteen just gave when Saquon Barkley ran for a record-setting franchise best 255 yards. Jalen Hurts is undefeated in home playoff games, but he only averages 154 yards per game in those games. So, all of that, plus our little soliloquy at the beginning of the show, and our debate and banter about A.J. Brown and the distinguishedness or ignorance of reading a book on the sideline, whichever way you look at it, it looks like you may be reading a little more of a book this week because this is a game for Saquon Barkley to go off and Jalen Hurts to be a game manager. That's what I expect the Eagles to win. I expect it to be similar to what Canteen said. I'm not going to say 34-20 because I don't think it'll be that big of a victory, but I will say 30-23 Eagles.
Okay. Man, I want to say this will be a higher scoring game. But I'm going to try to go the opposite. I think both these opposites have had a propensity to struggle. The Eagles a little bit, and so the Rams have as well, on and off. But they have, if you don't count the Seattle game where they rested everybody, they've won 6 in a row. So that's, to me, that's momentum going into the playoffs for the Rams. And the Eagles, I thought we saw a little bit of rust with Jalen Hurts. They ran the ball well, but he did not play that well in that game. Jalen Hurts struggled a little bit against, even though they won fairly easily. Jalen Hurts only completed 13 passes for 21 and 131 yards. Of course, they didn't need it all. Barkley was kind of carried them through that game. So I feel like they're going to make Jalen Hurts beat them. This is their game plan going into this. I feel that they have some momentum going into this game. And I feel like Jalen is still struggling, trying to find his game. They're going to focus on Barkley. This will make it a little easier for Jalen because it'll simplify. If they load the box, it's going to simplify the coverage for Jalen. And I think they're going to live with that. If you can beat us with the pass, Jalen, congratulations. I think that's the game plan for the Rams. They have a lot of they're one of the youngest teams on defense. So they have a lot of youth, but they played a whole season now. And I feel like they've got a little more experience. They've won a playoff game. And I think everybody's healthy now on offense. I just feel like the Rams are going to upset the Eagles in this game. It's going to be a close game. I think it'll be a little bit of an ugly game offensively as far as scoring. And I think that the Rams will pull this out late in the nail-biter 24-23. Rams pull it out in a close one. All right, so let's go. Sunday, 4:30, 5:30 Central. Baltimore at the Bills. Biggest game of the weekend. Biggest, at least on paper, looks like one of the best games of the weekend. Two MVP candidates going head-to-head offensively, not with each other, but against the other's defense. Baltimore is a one-point favorite on the road. A little surprised here that they're the favorites going in there. I thought they'd still give Buffalo maybe 2 points or 1 point, but Baltimore is the favorite going into Buffalo. Your thoughts, Canteen?
Blowout.
Okay.
Really?
Blowout.
Tell us
Blowout.
why. Tell us why.
If Buffalo don't make a statement this year, they need to let it go. I like Buffalo.
They weren't supposed to make a statement this year.
Buffalo by 14.
What? Oh, I thought you were the other way.
Josh Allen better be the MVP.
Wow.
Josh Allen better be the MVP.
And they're the underdogs, so that's par for you.
And he better be the MVP. Bills 27. Ravens 14.
27-14. Wow.
Did we just get two scores then? Didn't you just give us a score?
27-14.
Let's go Bills.
27-14. All right. Hey, shout out.
I kind of know where you're going with this one, I think.
Sports says salute to the panel. I'm about to sub. We appreciate that. Make sure everybody is subscribed at the Bottom Line Sports. And
Bottom Line Sports. Let's go, y'all.
The Bottom Line Sports. All right. Let's get into this game. You already know where I'm going to go because I picked Baltimore to go to the Super Bowl before the season started. So I always stick with the teams I picked. In week 4, these two teams faced off. It was a blowout on the side of Baltimore, 35-10 over Buffalo. Now, we all know that Josh Allen did on a little stronger at the end of the season. Both of these teams, high-scoring teams, the Bills averaged 30.9 points per game, while the Ravens averaged 30.5 points per game. They will be the 7th matchup in postseason history between two teams that averaged at least 30 points a game during the regular season. Now, as I mentioned, Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills have a lot better, especially in the second half of the season when Josh Allen just started taking over everything. MVP race came to a head, which is why this is going to be the best game of the weekend. You are right about that, and probably one of the best games we've seen in a while. The reason, though, that I would not pick the Bills, even if I had not picked the Ravens before the season, is that the Ravens present the Bills with a lot of difficulty defensively. What do I mean? The Bills have played with 5 or more defensive backs on the field for at least 95% of their snaps. That means 95% of the time they have 5 DBs on the field. That makes it harder to stack the box against the King, Derrick Henry, or as we used to call him, King Henry here in Nashville.
Before I gave him the boot.
Which they shouldn't have, because he's proved that he's still a beast, and he's going to beast again. This game is just going to be like the last game I called. They need to run the ball with Derrick Henry, just like the Eagles need to run the ball with Saquon Barkley. If Derrick Henry and the Ravens can rush like they did last time, they piled up 271 yards between all of them, and then just last week they went for 299 on Pittsburgh. This could be a long night for the Bills if they are not able to keep possession of the ball and keep it out of the hands of the Ravens. That is their best shot to win, is keep the ball out of the hands of Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. I don't think they'll be able to do it. I do think the Bills are a good team. I do think this will be a very close game. I am going to take, let's see, I'm going to take the Ravens. Obviously, let's see. What's the point spread on this club?
It is 1 point for the Ravens.
No, I mean, what's the point? What's the point?
51.5.
51.5. So that implies, with a 1 point, that implies a 26-25 game. So I will take it to 28-27. Ravens. Somehow, like the Bills miss a field extra point or something. I don't know. 28-27 Ravens over the.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
What do you think, Flo?
On paper, this looks like a great game. Like you said, Omar, they're both scoring over 30 points a game. I feel like this is going to be one of those kind of shootout games, back and forth, big plays by both quarterbacks. They do have the edge with King Henry rushing almost for 2,000 yards, but James Cook is not too shabby. He has 16 touchdowns, the same amount as Derrick Henry. So as far as scoring, James Cook is on par with Derrick Henry in rushing touchdowns, and he has a lot less attempts. And I think James Cook is going to be a key to this game, keeping them on the field, keeping the drives going. And the thing that I think I'm gonna go with Buffalo, and this is one of the reasons why. If you've seen Sean McDermott late in that game, or not late, but in that 1/4 down play where he would typically go for a field goal, he allowed them on 4th and 1 to throw the ball with Josh Allen. It kind of proves to me that he's willing to take chances now, like he hasn't in the past, and that he's going to trust Josh Allen to make a play when they need it. And so I think this is going to be a little bit of a shootout. I got the Bills edging this out in an exciting game, probably the most exciting of the weekend. I'm going to go 33-31. Bills pull it out by 2, 33-31. They both get their average, and it's a game, one of the classics in the NFL history. 2 MVP candidates at quarterback.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what a show.
Woo.
What a crazy show. I hope y'all enjoyed that. That was entertainment at its finest, I'll tell you that much.
I think we can get some snippets out of that, Omar.
Yeah, we definitely got some subs out of it. That's good. I'll see if I can cut up a couple of crazy.
Exactly. All right. So any final thoughts for the show or anything else coming up this weekend? A lot of good stuff happening. A lot of things going on. A lot of big games happening. This is it. This is the push to the Super Bowl. The final 4 teams on both sides. This will determine the AFC NFC championship. It's going to be great. Any final thoughts, guys?
Close it out Sunday, bro.
Yeah, definitely ready. Y'all tune in Sunday Surge. We'll go on to talk about the games. And as well, make sure y'all tune in Thursday at All in Buds. Go ahead and subscribe on YouTube at EALLANDBUDS. We have our Combat Sports Special cover B, the Combat G, our UFC Boxing MMA Insider, and yours truly. We'll go on about UFC 311 and all the updated boxing news. So make sure you subscribe at 2 p.m. on Thursday at All in Buds.
All right. Also, go check out I'll Take Jake on his pod, The Final Say, a ripoff of The Bottom Line as far as the name goes. But it's a good show. Jake's got it. It's very entertaining with his guys. Any final words, Canteen?
I see y'all Sunday, bro. Let's get it.
See you Sunday. Great
Sunday
show,
Surge,
fellas.
baby.
Peace. We out.